Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to my weekly video message. This past Sunday, which was the 17th of Tammuz, marked the beginning of a very spiritually significant time in the Jewish calendar. This time, which is known as the 3 weeks, is a time when we begin turning our hearts towards the destruction of the ancient temple in Jerusalem. First, mourning the breach of the walls of Jerusalem, which happened on the 17th of Tammuz, and then, 3 weeks later, on the 9th of Av, mourning the destruction of the ancient temple itself. The loss of the ancient temples was really a seismic loss for our people, as it was the loss of our spiritual home and center around which our entire Jewish life revolved. And because of the significance of this loss, every year we step into the grief and the pain of this loss. Yet these 3 weeks offer us an additional spiritual invitation, which is to attune to the grief that we are experiencing in these times that we're living in. Because the story of the breaching of the walls of Jerusalem and the destruction of the temple is also a story about how things fall apart in our own world, and is a story about the power of grief to help us heal and rebuild. This period in the Jewish calendar is an opportunity for us to sit with the rubble in our own time, to feel our grief of what has fallen apart, and to allow our grief to open up to the healing that we so desperately need as a collective. Now, I know that for each of us, the grief that we're feeling in these times is unique and personal. For some of us, the grief that we're feeling is about the actions of the current administration, and is about how our government is treating immigrants, trans people, and the poor, among others. For some of us, our grief is about anti-Semitism and about the increasing hostility and violence that we have been experiencing as Jews. For others of us, our grief is about what's happening to Israelis and Palestinians, is about the losses, the fear, and the anguish that both peoples in their own ways are experiencing. And for yet others of us, we're grieving the divisions and animosity in our society, and how painful it is to try and navigate our political differences with our neighbors, our fellow community members, our colleagues, and even our families. And of course, there are plenty of other things that have and are falling apart in these times that we may be grieving. This time period in the Jewish calendar is an invitation to sit with and really allow ourselves to feel the grief that we're feeling in these times, and to do so because this is the first step towards our collective healing. As we know, when we lose a loved one, grieving is key to our process of healing and returning to life with a whole and open heart. It is the same with grief that we feel about what's happening in our society. Allowing ourselves to be with this pain and grief opens our heart to healing and rebuilding with one another. I love the way that mindfulness teacher Tara Brach talks about it, when she says that because our grieving for the world really helps us access our care and love for the world and one another. And it's from this place of love and care for the world and one another that we can actually pave a new path forward. Grieving is truly our first step towards collective healing and change. With that, I want to invite us to reflect this week. What grief are you feeling in this time that we're living in right now? And how might allowing ourselves to feel this grief help us move toward healing? As usual, I look forward to hearing your responses to these questions. You can reach me at rabbi@bethtorah.org. I look forward to hearing what's on your heart and your mind.